Hey, what's up, everybody? It's JT Bagwell coming to you live from my desk, and unfortunately, not my bass boat. But when I'm online, I get tons and tons of questions every month, and it's usually a broad spectrum of questions from how to use a certain bait or what to do in this type of condition. But there's one specific subject that gets way more questions and comments than any other, and that's sponsorship. For some reason, in bass fishing specifically, but also in a couple other sports, a lot of people feel like they're either entitled or they deserve sponsorship, and I'm not really sure why they feel this way. You know, I get people reaching out to me every single day asking me to sponsor them, which kind of doesn't make any sense, but I think part of it's because people don't understand the full scope of sponsorship as a whole. So I am going to do a multi-part series for YouTube where I cover the subject of sponsorship broken down within different subtopics, but they all deal with sponsorship as a whole. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can catch every time a new episode comes out. And each episode will cover a couple of topics, and then I'll have an episode in between where I can answer some questions and comments pertaining to those topics from the video before. So again, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel at Bagwell Fishing so you see every time a new video drops and you can get in on the question and answer portion. And who knows, maybe I'll mix in some live broadcasts as well where we can deal in real time with your questions and comments. But for right now, I'm going to deal with a few different a few different topics in this video within the subject matter of sponsorship, and hopefully throughout this multi-part process, you can learn what it is that's required to get sponsorships and keep sponsors, and get the sponsors a return on their investment. So we'll start off with why companies sponsor people to begin with. And it's not because they want to be nice or they want to help you out or anything like that. I'm not saying that they're not nice and they don't want to help people, but that's not what their end goal is. You know, all businesses, regardless of what they are in, they have the goal of making more money. They need to increase their brand recognition, increase their revenue, increase the number of dollars that they make. Otherwise, they can't stay in business. If they don't make money, they got to go away. And we don't want them to go away. So you have to make sure that you're making money as a business. So the reason that a company would sponsor you is because they're going to use you as a form of advertising, much like a television commercial, a radio commercial, a print ad in a magazine or newspaper, or anything like that. Those are all forms of advertising, and sponsoring an athlete or a group of athletes or whoever it is another form of advertising. It's just a, it's just like a print ad, but you're a real life ad. So the end goal is for you to send more people to their brand so you can utilize their services or buy their products, or the people that you're sending there utilize the services and buy the products. But the end goal is still to make more money for the company so they can stay in business. Because if they don't make money, they can't stay in business and there's no sponsorships left. But you have to understand there's only so many dollars. A company can't just sponsor everybody because they're nice. They only have so many dollars. So that leads to the next part of the equation. Who do they sponsor? They sponsor whoever can get them the biggest return for the money that they have, whether that money's $10 or $10 million. They have to spend that money in a way that will get them the largest return for that investment. So are they going to sponsor the angler that fishes a little club tournament and only sees 20 people a month? Or are they going to sponsor the angler that has a ridiculous YouTube channel or is in magazines every month or things like that? Or are they going to sponsor somebody in the middle that, does something in between? It all depends on what their advertising budget is. So, but either way, they're going to sponsor whoever can get them the biggest return, the most bang for their buck. They have to make their money back and then some. They can't just give you $100 and only make 90, or they can't give you $100 and only make 100 because they're not in the business of breaking even. They want to make money. So they give you 100, they better make back 150 because that's how business works. So again, they have to sponsor somebody that's gonna get them the most bang for their buck. Excuse me. And and when I use the term sponsor, it doesn't always have to be cash. It could be maybe the first year you kind of do a trial run where they maybe give you 50% off of whatever product it is, or the next year they give you all of your gear for free, or not. And I use the term free loosely. It's not free because you're working for it. They're not giving you anything. It's not a charity. They're not handing out free things. You just don't have to pay out of pocket for it because you're working for it. That's basically how you should be looking at it, because this is a job. It's a business. It's not a charity. It's not a volunteer program. You are working for the company to help reach new customers. So again, let's say you start off the first year with just a 50% discount off of whatever product or service they offer. The next year you get all of that at no cost. They comp you all of your product or service. The following year, maybe they give you all of your product and they start paying you some good cash. It's a growing process. They can't just trust everybody that comes along. So you have to be willing to do a little give and take and try to work for what's best for both people involved, where people being you and the company. So you have to have a mutually beneficial agreement. It can't be all one-sided. It can't be the company gives you a 5% discount and you do tons of work and that's it. That's not fair. But you can't expect the company to give you a brand new truck and you don't do anything in return. So it's got to be give and take. You both have to help each other and to grow. So once they determine, what they can afford, then they'll start looking for who can give them the most bang for the buck. So at that point, it's up to you to determine what it is you bring to the table. So for the next segment, I'll kind of just use myself as a baseline. So at about 10 o'clock this morning, I looked at my Twitter analytics, which is a report that shows how many people looked at my Twitter account and things like that. And over 500,000 people viewed my Twitter in the last 28-day cycle. So put that in comparison, Bassmaster Magazine, the last time I checked, was doing about 500,000 copies a month. So, although it's not apples to apples, it's a rough baseline comparison. My Twitter account gets about as many views as Bassmaster Magazine. Now, if you want to run a full-page ad in Bassmaster Magazine, you're going to have to spend some serious cash. So if you only have, X number of dollars and you say, oh, to run this ad, it costs way more than that, but I can sponsor JT for this number of dollars, obviously I'm the most economical choice, or you, the angler, is the most economical choice. But like I said, we'll just use me as a rough example. It's not set in stone. These are just, scenarios and whatever, so you understand the concepts. So you have to decide how you can present your skills and what you have to bring to the table to the company. So as I said, we got the 500,000 that viewed Twitter, but then now you add Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, websites, magazines, whatever, and now you got a huge chunk of potential customers that you could present to this company. So you go to them and say, hey, I reach millions of people per year, and this, costs so much money. You would be wiser to go with me for X number of dollars because I represent the greatest potential return on investment. I can do this for you. I can put your brand in front of this many people and hopefully turn them into customers, and you will reap the rewards of my work. And so when you do things like that and show that you have a lot of value to the company versus you just got your hand out, hey, please can I have a free lure, or please can I have some free rods and reels, or can I have a free boat? This can I have stuff doesn't work very well. You have to be willing to show that you can work, and that you can bring something to the table, and that you're a valuable asset to the company. So think about that kind of stuff, and the next episode we'll get into a couple more topics within the sponsorship subject. And again, man, although we're speaking specifically about bass fishing, what I'm telling you can be adapted to other sports. It could be, if you're an MMA fighter, the basic concepts here will carry over to MMA brands or non-endemic companies at all. Just because you're a fisherman doesn't mean you don't use laundry detergent or you know wax for your truck and boat. You can think outside the box and reach out to other brands. It doesn't just have to be endemic companies that are within your specific industry. But, again, what I'm telling you can be used for mixed martial arts, can be used for golf, archery, bowling, whatever sport you're in. You can take these basic principles and adapt them to your sponsorship seeking process. And hopefully something that you hear in this series will help you along the way and get the sponsorship that you need. And you can provide a return to the companies so they can get what they need, which is more money to stay in business and employ people and things like that. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you catch all the updates. Send me your questions and comments either below down here in the YouTube comments or on my social media at Bagwell Fishing, and I'll try to get back with as many of you as I can. And again, we'll have another one next time.